Episode 8 of The Waterfront begins its finale with Bree kidnapped and waking up on Grady's boat out at sea. With her gone from the fish house, Belle wakes Harlan up and contemplates whether she's been taken by Grady. Harlan decides to deal with this himself, while Kane is jumpy back home when he hears someone downstairs. It turns out it's Peyton and he's shocked to see her. Kane comes clean though and tells the truth about his drug running to her. She questions him about what he's been up to and he eventually concedes to sleeping with Jenna. Peyton is shocked and she tells him that she hates them both. She also warned Jenna too, several episodes back, and as we know, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Peyton confronts Jenna, but before she does anything bad, she's taken aback when she finds out Jenna's father has just passed away. It completely changes the dynamic and mood of this conversation, as Peyton actually helps her out with funeral arrangements. When Jenna expresses how confused she is, Peyton simply replies, "Life's full of moments you can't understand." With his marriage up in flames, Harlan and Kane reconnect and try to find a solution to their Grady problem after he calls and offers a trade. He wants Harlan in exchange for Bree. With coordinates set for the middle of the ocean, they need to try and formulate a plan. However, the wild card here is Dilla, who happens to have snuck aboard the boat and has been hiding since Bree was captured. Bree tries to formulate an escape of her own, but it does not go to plan, especially when Dilla is found as a stowaway downstairs and held up at gunpoint. Grady, having had enough, shoots Bree in the leg and throws her overboard. Thankfully, Dilla throws away life raft, which at least works to save her from the deep and stop the bleeding, as she ties the straps around her leg as a makeshift tourniquet. Meanwhile, Harlan and the others try and get Bree back, unaware that she's no longer on board. As Harlan strokes Grady's ego when he comes aboard the boat, Sean and Kane sneak on from their hidden compartment. Grady though isn't falling for Harlan's words and tells him that all of this is his fault. That's just the cue that Sean and Kane need to jump in and cause a gunfight to break out. Naturally, the pair hold Grady up at gunpoint and Kane is the one who eventually pulls the trigger after clearing out all the thugs on board. With Grady dead, they head out to find Bree, who's still at sea. She has a flare gun handy though, which she fires and it helps the others find her and bring her back to their boat. Belle eventually catches up with the others and they take Bree to the hospital. Harlan calls Sean's son in a touching moment as they pass, while Kane and Sean also patch up their differences too. Drew also comes through for them all, working to help cover the whole boat fiasco up so it isn't traced back to the family. Harlan next speaks to Kane, explaining that he always wanted to run this fishery as father and son. This is why he wanted Kane to stick around rather than head off and get his college diploma, something that's followed him around for a while here. Although they don't say it, it appears there's newfound respect between them. Kane shows up to see Jenna that night, who immediately shuts down any possibility of them hooking up again. As far as Jenna is concerned, what they have is not real. She knows that Kane needs to go home and fix himself, and no amount of nostalgia or old high school feelings will fix what they had. Bree regains consciousness here though and patches up her differences with Dilla. The pair hug it out in the hospital and the camera lingers on their hug. It's a really nice moment, especially as Bree explains she doesn't want stronger painkillers. She's clearly trying to make a conscious effort here to stay sober, properly this time. Kane heads home to see Peyton and explains that everything is over between him and Jenna. He wants to make things right, explaining that she's always been the stronger one here, but Peyton is surprisingly stoic and tells him that everything is going to be okay. At the same time, Belle receives a proposition from Jeb. The deal will go ahead and they'll get their financial aid, but only if she takes over from Harlan. Belle shows up to see Emmett at his warehouse afterwards, who happens to be beating down Wes. They don't want to kill him, but instead are beating him into submission. Wes promises to follow Belle's lead, and the first season comes to an end as we zoom in to her face. So the Waterfront bows out with a decent finale, albeit one that's also rather messy too. The second half of this show has definitely felt a bit inconsistent, with the storyline starting to unravel and not doing a particularly good job of establishing Grady as this unconventional, loose cannon narcissist that he claims to be. It also undermines the menace of Emmett and Jeb somewhat, given they apparently aren't able to take one guy out on his own farm, despite apparently having an operation that stems through the entire South. However, the show has done well with its character relationships, so while the plot itself has been a bit sporadic and disjointed in places, not to mention contrived, the character arcs have at least been decent. Seeing Kane and Harlan find newfound respect for each other, while Dilla and Bree also manage to go from estranged to respecting each other, are two such examples of this. When it comes to Belle though, it seems like she's prepped to be the new leader, and that will almost certainly cause friction with Harlan. So what is Peyton planning? She seems way too calm after everything that's taken place, and she could also be planning something too. Plus, as a side note, it's always a bit of a warning sign when a woman says she's fine, the way that Peyton did, which obviously means that she's not. Hopefully this show will be renewed for a second season, because at the time of recording it hasn't been, and although the cliffhanger ending is annoying, there's enough in this to make for an enjoyable watch all the same. Thanks for watching, and do let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash a like or subscribe to the channel, your support is very much appreciated. I'm Greg Wheeler, and from all of us over here at The Review Geek, we'll see you on the next video.